People always think that adjusting tensions on a serger is a big deal. So I'm going to help you help understand what it means to adjust tension. First off, if you're just doing a basic 4-thread, most of the time your serger is going to be set to all the same number. And if you're using all the same kinds of thread, same weight, you really are going to notice that everything should balance. Internally on the Bernina L450 serger, your tensions are made to be set all at the same number. So if things get changed, you always know that you go back to 4 when you get ready to start again. So let's take a look at what are some of the things that happen. So first off, let's look at the loopers. Usually your top thread, your top looper, upper looper, and your bottom looper are to meet along the edge, just like that. Now, the only thing is sometimes maybe one will pull to the back side or one will pull to the top. So if it's just a little bit, that's not hard. So if it's pulling to the top, that means one of two things. The top one's too tight or the bottom one's too loose, which means you can adjust both just a little bit. So instead of maybe taking the tension all the way tighter or all the way looser, you do a little on both sides, like a scale where you can drop one and raise the other, but you don't have to make major adjustments to one side. So this is one of the things that as you look at it, you may or may not see a lot of change when all the colors are the same color. So that's why you're doing your original setup to be different colors. So all we're going to do, let's say, and I'm going to just make it be incorrect first. So by actually taking the lower looper tension, that's going to pull the upper looper to the back side. So I know we're doing this in reverse, where we're actually making it not work because it is balanced. But see how this is pulled to the back side? You can see more of the blue on the back. Is there anything wrong with this stitch? Absolutely not. But we can see that this has been too tight. It's pulled around. So I can fix it by making the upper looper tighter, or the better choice would be to make one looser. So we're not making everything tight. That's one thing that people they start tightening things, and well, that's not really exactly what you want. Now, if you have something that looks like this, and your tensions are all at the same number, and you're using all the same thread, what I would want to do first is just double check the threading path and make sure none of the thread is double wrapped around a guide, or you've skipped a guide. That will give you some of these options. So always double check the threading order and that everything's going straight through where they're supposed to. The other thing that people have a problem with, and I'm going to loosen my left needle, and I'm going to just quick sew this, is people will often see this problem. So it'll sew just fine. But as we see, front is going to look fairly similar. But see these gigantic loops, and they're orange, which is actually my yellow here. I made that really loose. And what's going to happen is when you open it up, you get to see lots of that. And that, well, obviously is not holding your seam together. So oftentimes people start, and I'm going to put it back to 4, where if this had happened when it was at 4, people start to tighten this and tighten it. Now keep in mind, needle tensions are tight anyway, and that can actually, well, make them even super tight. What happens here is normally people don't get the thread all the way down inside those tension discs far enough that when they close on the thread, when you lower the presser foot, that there's any tension on that thread at all. So if you have this result, what I want you to do is just look straight inside the tension disc, and if you see that color of thread looking at you back, you know that it is not in the tension disc. So you can either give your thread a little floss and sink it in there, do it with the presser foot up, it'll make it a little easier, and then try your sample again. But most times that is the problem, is the thread is not in here. And on occasion, I've actually had some students actually get the thread in, but it's not in where the discs are, okay? So the discs are curved like this, and they open and close, but they get it on the other side. So it looks like it's all in there, but it's not where it's actually getting any tension. So just, if you have to, just rethread the serger from scratch. Most of the time that will solve it. If you're using poor quality thread, well, you're on your own. You might have some thread that's just nubby, it's not as quality, and that's going to require you to tighten some of those tensions up to even get a look that's sort of what you're supposed to look like, and then your tensions are all over the place. So again, quality thread. Make sure your path is completely straight through all the guides and you didn't miss any. And then the other thing is that they're in the guides of the tensions all the way seated. And I bet that will actually solve most of your tension problems. Now, if you are using different kinds of thread, like a heavier thread and a lighter weight thread, well, that's when you start to kind of work with the balancing to get the look that you're after. So once again, don't think it's always tension. It could be something else, but you now know how to kind of adjust it as you go.